Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope the first playlist on credit card functionality made sense and it is helping you with your projects. Now let's dive into our next topic, which is called bill management. So think of bill management as an extension to the credit card functionality. This module allows users to pay their credit card based invoices directly by logging into a portal. So if you are familiar with supplier portal in procurement, this is very similar to that. It's like a customer portal. All right, let's move on. So this is our agenda. We'll start with what is bill management. We'll go through the configuration and some usages. Okay. So what is bill management? Bill management is a module that enables the customers to manage their outstanding transactions through the self-service option. So what do you mean by self-service option? So there is no dependency on your client to be sending out invoices, credit memos and debit memos and things like that to the customer. In this option, there is a new portal which is created, which is kind of a shortcut on top of Oracle Cloud, where they can, when I say they, I mean the customers can log in into that portal and they can directly use the screens and the UIs and navigate around to find out outstanding transactions. They can even print their own invoices. They can monitor the payments and they can even perform disputing transactions. That's what I meant by self-service. Very similar to the supplier portal, if you're familiar with that. If not, I mean, you don't need to know that. Just wanted to let you know. So bill management module actually works with both B2C and B2B customers. B2C as in business to consumer and B2B as in business to business customers. And it leverages the customer profile setup in receivables. So basically, you don't have to recreate any customer again because if your receivable module is owning the customer, then all the customer accounts and the corresponding sites and everything gets shared with the bill management module also. So bill management also has the option of registering customers over there directly. Okay, and it performs account maintenance. It facilitates the customers to do their own account maintenance. So if you recollect in AR, you may be having the customers, that is your parties, the accounts and the different sites. You set up those accounts. I mean, your client might be setting up those accounts. But when you give an access to the external customer to do these services by themselves, then they can also do all this along with what you're doing. Bill management also supports customers to do the printing of their invoices. Any mailing needs to be done, and it also we can set up reminders in the system that there are some outstanding bills to be paid. So it's something like let's say you buy a car, okay, and you set up a payment with the Bank of America or some other payment agency. So you can always log into that portal. You are the customer in that case. You can always log into that portal and you can look at your amortization schedule and you can make the payment based on the payment terms, right? So you can do that, something very similar to that which Oracle has offered. Okay, so that's the core of the bill management module. It's a very very small short module, very quick in terms of implementation, but it is very limited in terms of implementation. The reason is not every customer is willing to expose their Oracle instance to the outside world. And obviously when bill management is implemented and you give access to an external customer, they are able to log in to a shared screen, to a screen which is partially shared with them. It doesn't show them the entire ERP functionality, but it does show them some parts of the Oracle Cloud, and not many customers want to implement that. But there are some customers who take advantage of this kind of solution. Okay, so that was the bill management module. Now let's see what are the core configurations. And like I said, the configurations for bill management are pretty much minimal. It's a very simple and straightforward module to be implemented, but you need to do it the right way and make sure the right customers are getting access. And there is some security aspects behind that which we will be discussing in the forthcoming sessions. Today we'll just go over what the basic configurations are, and then in the next sessions we will see some security aspects behind that, and also how to use the application, how an end customer would log in into the application and perform their self-service tasks. That is something we can see in the future sessions. Okay. Okay. So the first thing is in Oracle, we have your standard lookup. So we need to create this lookup by the name of ARB underscore features. And obviously, the meaning, the description, all these are bill management features, and the module needs to be bill management. So please make sure that this lookup is set up. Sometimes out of box, when you enable bill management, this lookup is added by default. If it does not get added by default, then you'll have to manually enter this lookup type. Okay, so this is the lookup type. Now for this lookup type, there is a corresponding lookup code. So that's this. Under this lookup, under this, basically it's the same thing. Under ARB features lookup type, you have a lookup code by the name of bill underscore management. make sure this is enabled. You have a start date and you give a meaning. I rather do the same thing for code as well as meaning over here. And then the description. Okay. So that's your code. So type and code. Now we have the core configurations. So under financials, if you scroll down, you will see bill management option. Under bill management, you'll have these two options. The first one is systems option, just like your receivable systems options. And second one is bill management registration. So let's go to the first one, that is the bill management systems options. The very first thing you'll do here is registration. So there is a certain role which needs to be granted in security aspects. So that's called customer accounts payables. Also, this is an accounts receivable module for us. From the customer point of view, it's a payable module because they are making payments for the credit cards. So the role is called customer accounts payable specialist. Please make sure you include that over here. And the rest of the things can be left default. The transactions in months can be 24. Aging method can be standard. If your client wants a particular aging method or a transaction history, you can change it accordingly. But in my case, I just let the defaults get applied. Okay, that was the rule. Once you fill in the role, you have to come down under the preferences. You have to include your business unit, and these are some configurations you have to do. Whether bank payment is allowed, credit card payment is allowed, and we are doing this for as an extension for credit card, so I'm making it allowed. And then printing should be allowed. Whether it should have only the registered currency or multiple currencies. So I just kept it as no because I'm okay with doing this from multiple currencies. And we can always put a limit here. I put $10,000. You can, if you leave it blank, there's no limit. But if you want to make sure that for initial testing purposes, you can put a dollar value over there. Okay, so that's one thing. And then you can set up under notifications for a given business unit. You can set up from and to email addresses. We'll see that later where it shows up. So you can just put your email address over here. So that was your bill management systems options. Once that is done, you come to the second one, which is bill management registration. Now, what this is doing is basically before we do this, what is the prerequisite? Prerequisite that customer should be existing in the system, that is in your AR module, and the customer should also have a contact, customer contact, and that contact should have an email address. Right? That's a requirement. So you can come to this register user screen. You can search for the customer. Once it shows up this customer in this, there is this option called register. So you look for the customer, you make sure that email is available for that customer, and then you go and click on register that customer. Once you register, initially it will show you registering. It will be in the process of registering. It takes some time for it to get registered completely, and if there are any issues, it may pop up. Or let's say the customer is not having a contact or something like that. The customer is not properly set up in the system. Then it would basically give a message. If not, if everything is okay, it shows you registered, and registering, and after some time, it will show you that it got registered. So this is basically the configuration which basically enables the end customer to be able to access Oracle application. But once this is done, once the successful registration happens, the customer will be getting two emails. Okay, one will be welcome to bill management, and the username and the customer account and the party name, all that based on what you've registered. And it also says that the link to the password will be sent in a separate email. Okay, so this email goes through the customer, and the second one is their actual email, the URL, and the actual password will be provided to them. So they can basically click on this link, the customer, they can click on this link and they can reset the password and log in into the customer portal. Now, this is just like part of the screens are visible for them. So in our future sessions, we will see once they get access to this, what are the things they would need to do. Okay, once they do that, they would be able to access the screen. They would be able to log in as a customer into the application and make sure they are only able to see their own invoices. They should not be seeing others' invoices, and that's how the system is generally configured. But during our testing, we need to make sure. So I would say when we are doing this implementation, you can register yourself as one external customer, and you know. Or you can use any of the existing customers. Just add your contacts, replace the customer's contacts with your own email address, your own contact details, and make sure that you are getting that email and see what invoices show up in the screen, what invoices can be paid by the customer. Okay. So I think for today, this was the only thing which I had. We will definitely talk more about bill management module, the actual functionality, how to be using that functionality in the application once everything is configured. But for now, I just wanted to give a quick intro. So we saw bill management. What is the bill management, purpose of bill management? We saw the basic configurations, the lookup type, the lookup code, the systems options, and the optional configurations under that. And then we also saw the external user being registered. Once that is registering process is completed, the status show as registered. And once that is completed, the system is in a way ready to go. But how it is going to be utilized, we will see that in the forthcoming sessions. Okay. So that's what I had today. Thanks for your time. We will soon catch up in the next session.